Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking into how to say this, it, that. So this is in a material which is given in the description box in page number 41, 42 and 43. So let's get into the lesson. So if you see here, this is given as igot. It is given as 그것. That is given as 저것. So 이, 그, 저. These are the different syllables for these different positioning, if that's what you would call it. And then you have some example sentences, very simple sentences given here. That is, first you have 반말, which is informal, and next you have 존댓말. Be careful here, both are written forms here. But the second form, that is the 존댓말 form given here, can also be used as a spoken form. So 이것은 연필이다. That means this is a pencil. 그것은 창문이다. 창문 means window. 저것은 꽃이다. 꽃 means flower. The next one, 이것은 연필입니다. So 이다 is becoming 입니다. Even though it is written as 입니다, it would be read as 입니다. 그것은 창문입니다. 저것은 꽃입니다. As you go down, you could see some other forms of 이것, 저것, and 그것. So if you see here, when you speak, 이것, 저것, and 그것 usually becomes 이건, 그건, and 저건. How that happens is 이것은, 그것은, 저것은. This form is reduced, or you can say shortened to this. So be very careful. This form is usually used when you are speaking and not when you're writing. So we have the examples for the spoken form too. The same subjects are given here. 이건 연필이야. 그건 창문이야. 저건 꽃이야. 이건 연필이에요. 그건 창문이에요. 저건 꽃이에요. So if you see here, this is 반말 and this is 존댓말. Like we had in the written form, we're having the informal form first, and then you're having the polite form first. From this, it, and that which you learned today, you could derive here, there, and over there. So here, there, and over there. Here is yogi. Yogi is literally, you could say, another form of igot. Then you have 거기. 거기 means there. That comes from 그것. Over there is 저기. That comes from 저것. Another form which is a bit more formal is 곳, by adding 곳. 곳 means place. 거 and 고. Both the pronunciation is different. Take care about that. So this would be read as 이곳, 그곳, 저곳. So you have examples here. 이곳은 어디예요? 이곳은 서울이에요. So the person is asking, where is this place? 어디 means where. So they're saying, 이곳은 서울이에요. Seoul is the capital of South Korea, if you don't know that. The next one is, 저곳은 뭐예요? 저곳은 뭐예요? 그것은 서울시청이에요. 서울시청. So 서울시청 means Seoul City Council. The next one is 저기는 어디예요? 저기는 남대문이에요. So 남대문 is like 시장. 시장 means market. So 남대문 is a very famous 시장 in Korea. 그리고 여기는 세종문화회관이에요. Be very careful with the pronunciation here because it's a bit complicated. 세종. Sejong, you already know Sejong so King Sejong. So this was constructed in his name. So Sejong, it is a cultural center. Sejong Cultural Center. So Sejong Munhwa. Munhwa means culture. 회관 is doing the center part here. So 세종문화회관이에요. 그리고 means and. So another variation is 여기는, 저기는, 거기는. So when the topic particle comes, how does it change? So you can say 여긴, 거긴, 저긴. Another thing you could do with 이, 그, 저 is you could add 쪽. 쪽 means direction. So to say this direction, that direction, and all that, you could say 이쪽, 그쪽, 저쪽. But then 그쪽 is something you can also use to address a person. Suppose you don't know that person's name, age, social position, nothing. Or even if you know that it's a bit complicated or awkward situation to use that. Anyways, in that kind of a situation, you could use 그쪽 to address someone. It is not as common as the other ways you would use to address a person, but you can't say that it is a very rare thing either. So yeah, 그쪽 has two uses like that. As for the real directions, that is north, south, east, west, all that, how to say that, I'll teach you that in the coming class. So let's get to the examples. So you have 이쪽은 거실이에요. So 이쪽, this way, is the living room. 거실 means living room. 실, when you have 실 at the end of something, it's about 80 to 90% of the time, it can mean that it is talking about some kind of room. 그쪽은 베란다이에요. So it is talking about the veranda. 저쪽은 출구예요. 출구 means exit. So now we have a conversation between Sam and Minji. So Sam is asking, 여기 화장실 어딨어요? 여기 화장실 어딨어요? So if you listen carefully, I'm saying 어디 and 있어요 together even though it is written separately. So that's a kind of thing where the pronunciation thing, its peculiarity, it means. So it's kind of a peculiarity with Korean pronunciation. So you could say 여기 화장실 어디 있어요? 화장실은 저쪽에 있어요. 화장실 means washroom. So, or bathroom, whatever it is. This person is probably asking about the toilet. So 화장실은 저쪽에 있어요. 서점은 어디 있어요? So 서점. So if you see, yes, 서점 means a bookshop or bookstore, whatever you would call it. So, like 실, 점 is also a commonly seen suffix for something. A suffix for some kind of a shop or a store. A place that sells something. So if you have 점 as a suffix somewhere, if it comes alone, it means a dot, full stop, or simply a point, something like that. But if it comes as a suffix with something, it can mean some kind of a shop or store or some kind of establishment that sells some kind of a service. So here, 서점 sells books, so it is a bookstore. 서점은 어디 있어요? 서점은 이쪽에 있어요. So they're saying that the bookstore is to this side, or is to this way. Now, up until now, we saw how 이, 그, and 저 behaved with different kind of things. Now, we're seeing that 이, 그, and 저 can come alone too. And when I say alone, as a single syllable, describing or providing a foundation for a noun. So that's the examples given here. 이 나무, 그 집, 저 산. So this tree, that house, that mountain. That's what it says here. So you have some more examples given here. 이 사과 맛있어요. So they're saying that this apple is delicious. But then 사과 can also mean apology. But the thing is, you have to understand what it means from the context. And Korean has a lot of words like this, which is written and pronounced absolutely the same, but can mean different things depending on the context. So how you can understand that is, you have 맛있어요 here. And 맛있어요 means delicious. You wouldn't say that an apology is delicious. So from that itself, it's very clear that you're talking about an apple here. 저 사과도 맛있어요. So you're saying that that apple is delicious too. So another word with 점 you have here in the next example. So 음식 means food. So food shop, that's what it literally says here. So a shop which sells food is of course a restaurant. So that's a trick to remember words like this. 이 음식점은 비빔밥이 유명해요. So saying that this restaurant, that is in this restaurant, bibimbap is famous. So now pap means rice and bibim means mix. You're mixing something. So you're mixing rice with something, and that is called bibimbap. And bibimbap is a very famous snack and delicacy depending on the things depending on the things you mix with the rice. So it is a very common food, and you could search it up. 유명해요, 유명하다. 유명하다 means famous, and 유명해요 is the present tense formal form of 유명하다. So 이 음식점은 비빔밥이 유명해요. So in the next page you can see one final example given, that is 저 빌딩은 63 빌딩이에요. So 저 building, so that building is 63. It is written as 63, but just for some weird reason, you read it as 63 building rather than 63 building. So yuk means, it can mean two things. Yuk can mean 6, and it can also mean meet here. So now we have 6 written here very clearly. So from that it is understood that yuk here means 6. And then you have 3, and 3 is 3. 저 빌딩은 63 빌딩이에요. So you're saying that that building is the 63 building. That's literally what is said here. So you could make examples like this by yourself, and if you don't have much vocabulary at this point because you're in the starting stages of learning the language, It's absolutely alright. You could use the same examples or the same vocabulary that I have taught in my classes up until now and make different conversations and different examples from that, and then you could upload it in the comment box if that is okay with you, and I'll be checking all of them personally. So I hope today's lesson was clear. If you have any doubts, that too goes in the comment box as usual. So we'll see each other in the next class next week with a new topic. Thank you.